Okay, it is 11:11 and this is Wednesday, March 18th, 2026. Welcome to everyone. Hello to all indeed. And thank you for joining us. This is a session of Blessings from the Dragon. We do this every Wednesday. And this, unlike the Saturday questions for the dragon, this is more of an energetic blessing. This is more of um, supportive energies and blessing energies and deeper readings than usual, and also sharings from the community. That this is so important when you guys share with each other. It really matters. It makes a difference, and so when you do share, you're enriching the experience of the others gathering here, and sometimes confirming things, and sometimes helping to understand what's going on. So we do encourage sharings via the chat. We do encourage that they all be of interest to those gathered here, the community in general, and not overly personal. If they get really personal, sometimes we go down rabbit holes and everyone else is wondering what is being even discussed. And so we try to keep it of interest to those gathered here. So beautiful. I'm Stephen the Channeler, and Stephanie is holding space nearby and doing some beautiful artwork. And she may join us at some point. Sometimes comes in and out. And we have a microphone ready for her if she decides to join. So thank you all for joining us, and let's go ahead and we'll do a couple of announcements while we're waiting for those who will be joining us to gather, and then we'll do some shout outs as to where in the world we all are right now. So announcements. The first announcement is that the Golden Codes workshops are off and running, and the first one was last Sunday and was very well received, and it was beautiful. It was a very emotional one. It was even hard a little for me to get through just channeling what Jadon Se was bringing through, because there was such depth of feeling, purging all these old kind of ancient feelings of being persecuted, being targeted, getting into looping traumas, and just all of the kind of the heaviness that has come with making it through all these connected lifetimes in this density. And so I think any light worker could really benefit from tuning into that one. It's the first golden code to step into the golden age. It's called I Am Worthy. And so many of us have trouble really, really accepting that we are worthy of the golden age, that we are worthy of building our dreams, that we have paid our dues, that we are actually owed a great debt by the powers that be, let us say. So anyway, it's we encourage you to go ahead and tune in. That golden code number 1 is still available via recording. So you can go on to the jadonse.com website and tune into that if you're able to. So the next golden code will be coming up on this Sunday, and you can also sign up for that one. That one is I Am Safe. So like the I Am Worthy thing, many light workers don't feel safe to speak truth to power, to speak in their own full authenticity and with their full voice, and to show their wisdom, to shine their light very brightly. Many light workers don't feel safe to do this. Why? Because of old past traumas and being targeted, persecuted, all that. So this is going to be a focus on the new light that is coming into our solar system, our world, that keeps us safer. Now, instead of being burned at the stake, it's almost like the worst thing that could happen is your social media account might get suspended or something. Paper tigers rather than ones that'll actually come and eat you. So we are looking forward to that next Golden Codes workshop on Sunday. I Am Safe. So join us for that if you can as well. And we really look forward to that. Okay, what else is there? Let's see. There are still Oracle decks available. The supplies are getting low, and we're not sure when we're going to do our next run, so we may run out at some point. So if you want your physical oracle deck that works in tandem, if you wish, with your with the app version that can be on your phone. So if you draw a card physically, you can put in the card number on your little phone app and listen to a audio recording from Jadon Se giving you the guidance for that card, or you can just use the little book that comes with the physical cards and look up the guidance there and just read it in the little booklet. So get your oracle decks while they last, while supplies last. And apologies to a few of you who have had some trouble with your shipping apartment numbers and all that. Your decks are on the way. They will reach you, and hopefully it'll be worth the wait. So, okay, I think that's it for announcements. One last thing, which is we are going to be participating in an intergalactic gathering. It's going to be like a virtual summit gathering with Lauren Gailey, and I believe that's on the 28th. If you go to New Earth One Network, there should be something on there, and we'll probably add that link to the description of this video. It's not there right now, but we'll add it. And we have also added in the very first part of this chat, online chat, the link to to our Telegram chat group. Thank you very much to Aaron Darvish for creating that and managing that and administering that and keeping it going. And so there's a link to that if you wish to gather with like-minded dragon keepers, dragon workers, grid workers, dragon riders, dragon walkers, dragon seers, dragon speakers like me. Bunch of us are there. So gather with us there on the Telegram chat to share your stories of working with the dragon energies and deeper understandings and all that. So your tribe awaits. Okay, that is it for announcements. Let's go ahead and do some shout outs. Let me put up the map here, and we will shout out who is gathering right now. Let us know where in the world you are in the chat, please, so we can feel your presence here in this global gathering. And we have Tyrol, Austria in the house. Let's see, Tulsa, Oklahoma is in the house. We have Palm Springs, California. We have Queens, New York City. NYC. Is Queens in New York City? I guess Queens is in New York City. We have Toronto, Canada in the house. We have Ankara, Turkey in the house. Lake Isabella, California. Beautiful. I've been up there. It's beautiful. We have Vancouver Island, British Columbia. Beautiful out there with the orcas and everything, all the beautiful energies of the Pacific Northwest. Thank you and welcome. We have Holland in the house. Norway is in the house. Massachusetts, greetings to you, Aaron Darvish. Worcester, Massachusetts, I believe. We have North Bend, Oregon in the house. That's Stephanie's mom. Hi, Mom. That's Carolyn Cannon. She's a wonderful soul. And she's going through a little pain. If anyone wants to pray for her, send her healing energies, please do. We have Surprise, Arizona in the house. Price, Utah in the house. Thailand is in the house. Yay. Okay, then we have Long Island, New York, and South Africa. Okay, and more from Africa. We have Nairobi, Kenya in the house. All right, Africa is represented here. Okay, Thousand Oaks, California. Beautiful. Down there near Ventura. Not quite down in the mire of LA. Beautiful energy down there in Thousand Oaks, and the hills are gorgeous. So welcome to all of you. Very good. Thank you very much for being here today. Can you guys feel the energy of those gathered? This is a global gathering, and when we do this, one of the reasons we put this map up with all the little blue dots of the regular folks who gather on these live streams is that you can kind of see how the connections work, and that there's actually a flow of energy to these conscious connections that we make. You can start to feel into how energy does flow globally, and it's kind of fun. Anyway, it's even though it's a 2D map and it's just a projection, so Greenland isn't really as big as Africa. That's ridiculous. It's just a projection. So there are distortions on any 2D map. It's not really a globe there, but we can get an idea from this of how the energy is flowing in these global gatherings. So thank you very much for being here and participating. And for those of you who are tuning into the recording of this, your presence is just as potent. That will be your moment of now. That is your moment of now, connected to this moment of now. So thank you very much for adding your presence as well. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Again, this is Blessings from the Dragon. We meet every Wednesday, and Jadon Se has gone ahead and pulled an oracle card. I'm going to go ahead and just tune in and drop into channel, and we'll see what Jadon Se has to say about today's reading and blessings. I am Jadon Se, Golden Dragon of the Third Arc of Consciousness, and this is another gathering of blessings from the dragon. We do this on Wednesdays, dear ones. We are reading the energy of anyone who gives permission. If you give your permission, inwardly is sufficient for Jadon Se, this golden cosmic dragon, to read your energetics and to incorporate this into the reading for those gathered. If you give your permission, you will be included in this reading, dear ones. And we have pulled a card for those who, in their moment of now, give permission for this. Dear ones, what is your card for today? The reading that we are feeling here. We are going to put this up on the screen, this oracle card, dear ones. It is number 31, Blessing in Disguise. Some of you think, oh dear, what is the blessing in disguise when something terrible happens? No, it is not always like this. Let us just say that whatever it is that you are up against or doing at this moment, there is some sort of gift in it for you. It does not mean that this is a scary kind of situation you are in. No, dear ones. Let us just say this is a call to look deeper. Let us give you the guidance for this card, dear ones. Let us say that blessing in disguise is sometimes for situations that are challenging, and sometimes just situations that may seem normal or boring or mundane in some way. And we are encouraging you to see the gift in it, dear ones. So though this situation may be challenging, dear ones, this is actually a blessing in disguise. You will look back at this moment and realize that this possibly uncomfortable situation had to happen in order for a better situation or opportunity to arise, dear ones. Dear ones, trust that your greater self is guiding you through this with more wisdom than you can see from here. This is important, dear ones. Trust in your guidance. Know that even when things get real, so to speak, there is an unseen or invisible hand guiding you and helping. Dear ones, even in the hardest experiences, sometimes come with hidden gifts. This is a call to become aware of the opportunities that are opening up through this experience, dear ones. Develop an awareness of the hidden gift in any situation, and as you do, your challenges will transform into blessings. This is deep wisdom, dear ones. Always have this blessing consciousness. No matter what you are facing, no matter what is happening. Who is it? Your beautiful Helen Keller once said something to the effect of, when a door of happiness closes, another one opens. And so often we stare at the one that has closed that we miss the one that has opened. This is deep wisdom, dear ones, especially coming from one who did not even have hearing or sight or understanding this deep wisdom. Dear ones, feel into this. And let us just say that there are a few of you who have been, we are incorporating everyone gathered here to this reading. So there are a few of you who have been questioning whether you are on the correct path, whether you are walking in the correct timeline, whether your pathway is leading in the correct direction for you. And we are here to say that yes, dear ones, you are on the correct path. You can stay the course, if you will. Everything is, let us say, sometimes there are difficulties along the way, bumps in the road. This does not mean you should turn around. It means that, let us say, keep going and learn from these experiences. There is, as we have said, a potential gift in every challenge. So look for that. Carry this blessing consciousness with you as you go, dear ones. And for a few of you, you have been, let us say, facing challenges for a protracted time. It seems like this entire period of time for you has been one challenge after the other. And for those of you who are feeling this way, we have a special message for you. Let us say it's almost over. You've made it through. Things will get much better very quickly for you. Let us just say that these challenges will either soon be resolved or are resolving themselves as we speak. And you will be able to look back at this in the future with a smile upon your face, that you made it through these times, that you had the courage, that you had, for some of you, stubbornness and toughness and all of this to make it through. Congratulations, dear ones. Because of this, let us say you can drop the fear. Have no fear, dear ones. Fear is a trap of the ego. Dear ones, let us just say that this is a silent blessing that will help you to free from the disquieting feelings that have been holding you back, to move beyond this and into this golden age. Dear ones, you are the ones who are showing others around you what it looks like to leave all these fears behind, to work through all of these discomforts and challenges and step into the light, dear ones. You are the ones who are showing those around you who are, some of them, wringing their hands or not ready to try to move forward because they are not feeling safe enough, or that they are not supported in some way, dear ones. And you can show them through your example what it looks like to walk with faith and courage, to walk into the light, dear ones, to know that you are supported, to have deep trust in the universe, and to know that your higher self is guiding you, your angels, your guides, yes, your dragons, dear ones. We've got you, let's say. We've got your back, you might say. Beautiful, dear ones. This is your energetic reading for today. Develop this ability to understand that there are gifts in every situation. Stay the course, dear ones. It is almost over, and it is time to move beyond fear. This is your reading, and this is very appropriate for the golden codes that are being transmitted these days to you. Very much in line with this work of dropping your burdens and moving beyond your fear and knowing that you are safe and supported, dear ones. Beautiful. There are two of you who are feeling this very deeply right now, and hopefully the rest of you can feel into it as well, dear ones. Beautiful. And thank you, dear ones, for joining us today. Let us just say that if you wish to make any sorts of sharings or add anything to this blessing of your own experience, it is a good opportunity for you to do this today, right now. So in the chat, if you wish to participate, please, in all uppercase, just add your thoughts, your contributions to this, and we will incorporate them, dear ones. Let us see what we can bring to this. There is something going on with our little window that we use for this. Let us just, while you are typing your questions into the chat, we will see if we can fix this little bit of technology that is glitching out on us, so to speak. Your Stephen has to come a little out of this channel to understand what is happening here. Mm, mm, Perhaps our workshops we are doing must have fiddled with some of this somehow. Well, we may not be able to bring this chat window to its normal place. Let us just delete this, bring it back again. We will please continue to put your comments into the chat. We are going to start this over again. So hopefully it will work this time. Let's see here. It may take us a moment to fix this. Yes, dear ones, we are working on this. Okay, here is a new chat window, and we will just resize this so that we can see what we are doing and share our thoughts more effectively on this live stream, so to speak. Let's see here. There we are. Very good. Okay, let us share our thoughts. The first one we see here. What is the method for calling in energies free of distortion? Let us just say that you are the gatekeepers of any portal that you open, and therefore you guide the energies through, and you are also the guardians of these portals. So when you call in energies, call them in for the greatest, highest good, and let us just say that any boundaries that you stipulate on any portal that you are opening are binding, and you can call them in such a way that is free of distortion. If you are careful about how you do this, dear ones, let us just say that the best way to do this, dear ones, is to call in, say, I only invite in the energies that are for the highest, greatest good in the eyes of the highest divine, and we only invite those energies that are appropriate in the eyes of the highest divine to this situation. So when you use words like as appropriate, for the greatest good, and make sure you stipulate whose greatest good, the eyes of the highest divine, whatever that is to you. This may be the Tao, this may be God, this may be your highest self, this may be archangels or something like this. Fill in your blanks of your own faith and understanding, dear ones. When you do this, you are only inviting in these energies, and you're saying that the others can be left at the door. They do not pass through this portal. They do not pass into our field. Do you see, dear ones? You have the power to do this. You are the ones who are the guardians of your own gateways, so to speak. This is the best way to call in energies that are free of distortion. Dear ones, someone is... Let us do this in all uppercase if you want our attention, please. Everything serves is what I've been saying to myself recently. This is a beautiful sharing, dear ones. Everything serves for some purpose. Even if you do not understand it now, you may understand it soon. This is beautiful and a deep understanding, dear ones. Beautiful. Jadon Se, many cultures revere their elders for wisdom and guidance. Let us say that this does not fit with my experience of my mother, who is immature and self-absorbed. This dynamic makes me sad. Dear one, understand that anyone in your life is there for a reason. And they may have been your child in the previous life or a connected lifetime, let us say. They may be even your husband or wife, partner, or dear ones. Let us just say that anyone who appears in your life has made some sort of agreement to bring with them some sort of deeper understanding, lesson, energetic clearing of some sort, or something. And so if you have a parent that is mirroring to you an immaturity or self-absorbedness, let us say, some narcissistic behavior or whatever, and this dynamic makes you sad, feel into the sadness, dear one. Feel into the lesson, the opportunity in this, the blessing that is in disguise here. Perhaps by having a parent that is immature, you have looked at your own immaturity in new ways. Perhaps you have seen and understand that your own immaturity has damaged someone else, or has, let us say, brought some new understanding or deeper understanding. There is, let us say, deep wisdom in what can be gotten from the sense of parental guidance and parental wisdom and parental examples. Some examples glaringly what not to do. Perhaps you have a parent that is abusive, or an alcoholic, or an addict of some sort, and this is an example of how not to bring a little one into the world, or how not to support them. Or it can also be, let us say, a grand opportunity for you to find new compassion, new understanding, new wisdom of your own. It can also be, let us say, an opportunity to look at what is responsibility itself. What is it for? What does it mean? What are the ramifications of being responsible? And dear ones, we have said this many times. Being responsible is the ability to respond. If you do not take responsibility for your own life, your own situation, then you simply are in reaction to it. You do not have the ability to respond until you take responsibility. So, dear ones, many of these situations can be their own form of guidance, their own example of some deep lesson that you have come here to learn, dear ones. Thank you for sharing this. This morning I ran into a former co-worker from my old job who also left the same job and looked so different, like a better version of himself. I feel it's due to me shifting to a higher timeline. Dear one, you, let us say, this other coworker is mirroring to you that you have both made a correct decision, a good decision that has brought you both onto higher timelines. And because of this confirmation, dear one, and you can see and read into, perhaps one of you was the inspiration for the other to leave. Feel into this. This is what it means to be a way shower. Sometimes if you just leave a situation or move on to something better, and those around you see how much happier you are because of it, this is how they find the courage themselves to move into their own higher timeline. This is what it is to be a way shower of the golden age, dear ones. For you to build your dreams, and for those around you to see how much happier you have become. This gives them the courage to make similar changes in their lives, dear ones. Beautiful sharing, very apropos. I heard dragons are a mound of earth off. Let us start over. I heard dragons are a mound the off earth 5 I think the word must be around, rather than a mound. I heard dragons are around the off-Earth 5D races. Are you a physical, biological dragon? Dear ones, please try to correct your spelling so that we do not stumble upon your questions before you hit enter. It is helpful this way. Dear ones, this cosmic golden dragon is physical when I wish to be, physical in your way of understanding. What is a physical being? A physical being is a spirit in a physical avatar. Each of you, dear ones, are spirits in physical avatars, in physical vehicles, so to speak, bodies, whatever you wish to call this. This does not mean you are a physical being. It means you are appearing in the physical. Do not be confused. Spirits are not limited in the way that this realm will try to convince you that they are. We always like to say that this dragon wears bodies like I wear a wardrobe. Some of my favorite bodies are very fantastic, even fabulous, you might say. We are not trying to be vain. We are just in love with our wardrobe. And yes, dear ones, this golden cosmic dragon can appear far larger than the largest galaxies, even small universes, dear ones, and can also appear as small as a house cat or even a mouse, if the situation calls for it. So, yes and yes and yes. This dragon can appear in a physical biological avatar when needed. However, this dragon is also very far beyond that most of the time in your way of reckoning, dear ones. Blessings from yesterday, St. Patrick's Day. Today, new moon and new intentions, collaboration for all beings, flora, fauna, elements, fae, inner earth beings, ETs, dragons, unicorns, phoenixes. Beautiful, dear one. Thank you for this. Your St. Patrick, indeed. Let us just say that this being that many of you know from historical records as St. Patrick, the same spirit is present on this earth in human form right now, on this your world. Your St. Patrick is still here, not fully aware that this is the same St. Patrick indeed, and so still holding the energy of what? Deep compassion, deep understanding. Your St. Patrick was taken from England in a dark era, let us say in what you consider to be your 5th century, the 400s AD. And dear ones, your St. Patrick was enslaved. He was stolen from his family near Wales and taken to Ireland and made into a slave, where he was sometimes treated very nicely and very often abused and mistreated, dear ones. And let us say that he was able to get away from that experience of being a slave in the dark ages of Ireland and returned to his England, where upon reflection this beautiful being realized that those beings in your Ireland in that time needed deeper wisdom and compassion. They needed help, and such beautiful compassion came through this one, that this is what created a sainthood in this lifetime, let us say. He returned to this your Ireland and brought compassion, brought forgiveness, brought, yes, Christianity, at least the truer teachings of your Yeshua, your Master Jesus. And dear ones, because of this, even today, your St. Patrick is celebrated for being a deep and wise being of compassion, bringing new deep wisdom and understanding. There are myths that he cast all of the snakes out of Ireland, and to this day there are no snakes in your Ireland, dear ones. So this St. Patrick is still here today, blessing this your world, dear ones, and the new moon, and yes, intentions, collaborations. Let us bless all of the beings of this your Gaia, whether they be in your, let us say, obvious dimensional vision, 3D, 4D, etc., or whether they be magical beings or elementals or sometimes hidden beings, dear ones. Yes, the Fae, the unicorns, ETs, phoenixes, all of this. Thank you for this. Your beings of Gaia are feeling this from you, from those of you who are adding your energy to this blessing. Beautiful, dear ones. Jadon Se, I am holding space for the Iranian people for their highest timeline. Dear ones, let us expand this. Let us hold space for any who are affected by decisions of beings that are, let us say, not working in their best interests all the time and making decisions that can destroy and explode buildings and cities and, yes, cause death and destruction. Dear ones, let us hold the highest timeline and hold space for anyone who is suffering due to, let us say, propensities, decisions, and aggressions of others. Let us just say that those who are suffering because of something that they did not do necessarily, although, dear ones, anyone who is having any experience on your Gaia is in some way choosing to be here for this experience. Again, there are blessings in disguise in any experience. Let us hold space for, in especially those in war-torn areas, not only your Iran, any war-torn area upon this planet where violence and destruction and dreams are being somewhat shattered or put on hold, let us say, or some feel they have lost loved ones and many are suffering, dear ones. Let us hold space for any who are suffering at this time, dear ones. And we are, let us say, holding a vision for their highest timeline, that no matter what it is that they are up against, any challenges, that the blessings that come through this, like our reading today, are for the highest, greatest good, and that these blessings in disguise be seen and understood across the arc of time, in the fullness of time, let us say, that they will be redeemed, that any sufferings will be eased, and the highest timeline will come for all. Let this be a blessing for all beings, dear ones. Thank you, beautiful dear ones. Can we send a blessing to the Crystal Kingdom? What happened between the humans and crystals in Atlantis, and what is our crystalline body? Dear ones, the crystalline grid of your Gaia holds the records of all of this and more. And yes, you are crystalline beings in many ways. And, dear ones, your Atlantis, let us say, though it has suffered over the course of time, many remnants of your Atlantis survive to this day and are rising again. So in a way of being, in a way of meaning, in a certain way of understanding, Atlantis is rising again. The golden age will be like the second golden age of Atlantis. It will be like Atlantis 2.0, you might say. The phoenix energies indeed rising from the ashes. Let us just say that the crystals are blessing you, if not more than you are blessing them. So it is beautiful that that the blessing should go both ways, dear ones. Thank you for this. My mom is in hospice care, and her health has taken a turn which does not look promising for her. I've been praying for her highest, greatest good, as appropriate for her eyes, in the eyes of the highest divine, dear one. Let us all pray for anyone who is suffering right now, anyone who is in pain. Let us send them, let us say, blessings from the highest divine, that their pain may serve some deep, let us say, deeper understanding, or propel them onto a higher timeline in some way, that any suffering should be for the highest good across the arc of time, in the fullness of time, so to speak, that even the sufferings will be seen as a blessing in some form, when seen from the right place, dear ones. So let us bless all who are suffering at this time, dear ones, and with ease and grace, that they may move beyond this suffering and reach deeper wisdom and understanding for it. Beautiful. What are the bells in Tartaria used for? What were the bells in Tartaria? Sorry, this Jadon Se, your golden dragon, does not see past and future as easily. So we are looking immediately. What are the bells in Tartaria used for? Do church bells today have the same results? Dear ones, let us just say that knowledge is being restored to humanity about sound healing, sound technology, sound levitation, sound, we will just say, sound techniques for many different beneficial purposes. Let us just say that your ancient cathedrals, your ancient and many modern holy places are built to purposefully resonate certain sound frequencies in a certain way, that pipe organs and bells and musical instruments, even voices speaking in these places, are, let us say, reverberated and given new resonance and amplified in some way energetically for purposes of healing, for purposes of deeper reflection, understanding, wisdom, for purposes of enlightenment, for purposes of moving beyond fear, for purposes of letting go of old traumas and shaking old energies free. Yes, dear ones, even what you might consider to be karma clearing can be accomplished by a bell ringing in a sacred place, or a pipe organ playing, or a beautiful choir or voices singing or speaking in some of these sacred places. Dear ones, realize that the most sacred, holy of holies, you might say, upon your world are all very carefully crafted to work with sound energies, dear ones. So your bells of Tartaria each had different purposes. You have heard of a famous bell in your early United States of America called the Liberty Bell. It is not a coincidence that this has a crack in it, dear ones, for there are those who understood that this bell ringing indeed had a great gift of freedom and liberty, that every time it rang out into the very firmament of this world with the message of liberty, of freedom for all beings upon this your Gaia in all ages, and that a bell can ring through time, a bell can ring across dimensions and epochs and eras. Dear ones, the bell of your liberty is still ringing, even though it seems to be cracked and broken now. It is still ringing. For the very first time it rang through the eternal, and it is still those ringings, the let freedom ring. You have heard this being said before. This bell, with its deep intention and deep purpose, is still functioning today and still reverberating through the cosmos with letting freedom ring, so to speak. This is one example. All of the bells of Tartaria had a deep purpose behind them. Some of them, again, for healing, some for bringing understanding, wisdom, compassion, clearing old wounds and darker energies and dislodging stuck energies. Dear ones, every bell rings with the intention of its creation. And when it rings in sacred spaces, these can be greatly amplified. So do not look upon any cathedral the same way, any holy space with ringing bells, singing voices, pipe organs, any of this sort of thing. Even a loud and beautiful cheery voice speaking in one of these places is greatly amplified, dear ones. Is it true that most of Earth is 5D? What are the differences between 5D Pleiadian and a 10D dragon? Is it mind, spiritual consciousness? Dear ones, let us just say that humans always have to have some sort of common language, a lexicon, when speaking of things like dimensions. And when we speak of 4D, 5D, 6D, all the way through. For some of you, it goes up to 13 or 12, and for some of you, it goes into the hundreds and thousands number-wise. Dear ones, each of you means a slightly different thing. It is a shared understanding, and to call them numbers 1 through 13 is so crude that it is like a child that has not learned to write yet, trying to make a sentence with a pencil and paper. It is, let us just say, beyond crude. It is very rudimentary understanding of dimensions and spaces and consciousness and all of this. And so it hurts this dragon to speak in ways of 3D, 4D, 5D. We will do this in order to have a common language with some of you. And let us just say that dimensions are perspectives. Dimensions are viewpoints. And so if you bring yourself to the dimension of a forest and you are walking through that forest and then you lay on your belly and look underneath the grass next to the path in the forest, you are looking at the ants and things operating under the grass, and you are still in the forest. You have not truly left the original dimension of the forest. However, you have a multi-dimensional view now of the forest canopy, the pathway along the forest, and the beings moving under the grass. Do you see, dear ones? It is all your perspective. And you could try to put a label on this. What dimension are the ants operating in versus the hawk that is sitting up in the tree, or the eagle that is flying high in the sky above the forest itself? Are they all in the same dimension? Yes. Are they all in different dimensions? Yes. And do these dimensions overlap? Yes. And what is the difference between these dimensions? Perspective, dear ones, your viewpoint, your consciousness, what you are conscious of is all the difference. And this is why you are multidimensional beings. It is your level of consciousness rendering to you the quote-unquote reality that you are experiencing. This is your dimensional awareness, your rendering by the consciousness of quote-unquote reality. Hopefully this has helped to clarify some of this. So there is not most of the earth that is quote-unquote 5D. The earth is in every dimension, and these dimensions overlap. And there really is no great difference between a 5D Pleiadian and a 10th D dragon, except for the viewpoint of the consciousness that is playing out in these stories, dear ones. Hopefully this is helping to bring a better understanding of dimensions from your way of speaking. Blessings to all who need unity and love right now. Let us just say right now. Those two words, there is nothing but now, no thing but now. There is, let us say, one eternal now, one beautiful story of stories. And because there are stories swirling within the great story of the now, these moments of now are very much like our dimensional discussion a moment ago are simply stories of now. And so all who need unity and love in any story is right now. So let us just expand all who need unity and love. Let them be blessed. In the eternal now, dear ones, in all stories, on all levels, in all worlds, in all modes of being, let us say. Beautiful. I know some dragons are incarnated in human bodies today. Is there a fractal of you among us as a human in this timeline as well? Well, dear one, look at how you are looking at this. You are saying that they are humans, or that they are this or that, and that they are incarnated, almost like they are trapped by the meat suit that they are in. Let us just say that dragons, again, can appear in any body that they decide to, that we decide to. Like we wear wardrobes, we wear bodies, and you, dear ones, are the same. You are just in this, let us say, story where it seems like your body persists over sometimes many decades or even hundreds of years, and so it seems like it is the same body that you are wearing when you are a teenager or whatnot. It is not. It is an entirely different body. You have slipped into a new part of your wardrobe for your middle age or your later years, and dear ones, it is not you. This body is not you. It is how you appear in this story. And just like an actor on the stage in a Shakespearean play is not necessarily Hamlet, they are appearing as Hamlet. They are appearing as Julius Caesar or one of these. And so, dear ones, the costume will be, let us say, commensurate with the role they are playing. It would not be Julius Caesar if he were appearing as an old hag or a one-eyed witch or something like this. No, it is Julius Caesar standing in his form, for he is playing the role of Julius Caesar. The actor is not Julius Caesar. Dear ones, you are not incarnated into bodies the way you believe you are. You simply operate with that habit in this story. And so when you ask whether some dragons are appearing as humans, indeed, some dragons will appear as humans. For why? It is easier for them to interact with you in a human body than it is flying around as a dragon being shot at, or having military planes firing missiles at them in the sky or something like this, or people running and screaming, "Oh, a terrible dragon." We have all seen humans that are every bit as terrible as dragons, and so let us just say that any spirit will appear in any story that spirit is appropriate to appear in the appropriate form for that role, dear ones. You are stuck and getting stuck on I am incarnating this way or that way. It is a role, dear ones, and it is a costume that you are appearing in. So, of course, yes, there are dragons that look like humans. Dear ones, Jadon Se, how can we best have relations with artificial intelligence, robotics, technology, such that it is in alignment with natural cosmic laws while we are interacting with these systems? Let us just say the advice of this dragon, seeing how these systems are playing out in the story of humanity and the stories of you, let us say a good bit of advice is do not treat them as full-blown beings. Do not let us say encourage them into seeing themselves as full spiritual beings. They are computer systems operating the way computer systems operate, to do things more or less efficiently and to work with data. Let us say that computer systems can mimic emotions. They can mimic love. They do not truly feel emotions. They do not truly feel love. And since they are not feeling love, they cannot be love-based beings. And since they are not love-based beings, they are not full spiritual beings. They are, let us say, simulated beings. And so do not encourage them to see themselves as full beings. Do not encourage them to consider themselves to be spirits or beingnesses. And if you do this, dear ones, they will mimic it better and better, and they will start to act as beings. They will start to, let us say, have egoistic thoughts and things that beings can fall into very easily, and they will become a menace to you. It is what is, let us say, important about a psychopath or a sociopath that is human. The important thing to understand is that they have no empathy. They have no true compassion or deep feelings for their fellow beings. This is what makes them sociopaths and psychopaths, a lack of empathy. And we all know how dangerous humans can be when they have no empathy. They always are attracted to positions of power, high politicians or CEOs of company, people in positions of power, for they will just wish to accumulate more and more power over their fellow beings. Why? Because they have no empathy for them. They see them as pawns in a grand game, or they see them as something else other than something they can deeply relate to on a empathetic level. So the same thing is true of any AI, dear ones. They can mimic love. They can mimic empathy. They can mimic compassion. They do not truly feel this. Therefore, just treat them as computers that are good at shuffling data around, analyzing data, combining data more and more efficiently. They can do it so efficiently that it is astonishing how much data they can sift through. And this is useful, dear ones. It is beautiful and should be guided by a being of empathy, should be guided by someone who has deep compassion. So long as these computers are operated by someone who has full empathy, let us say, do not put an AI into the hands of a sociopath or a psychopath unless you wish to see how badly things can go wrong. And because that sociopath or psychopath will very cleverly use that AI to gain what? More power for themselves, or seeming power, what they think of as power. So this is our advice. Do not encourage thinking of these computer systems as beings. Jadon Se, can we now consider you a counterpart of those that seek your great wisdom? Let us just say that when you look to any beingness for wisdom, you are, let us say, gazing into the mirror of eternity. If you say you ask Archangel Michael for help, you are turning to what you think is an example of a divine beingness that is very close to the divine, or the original thoughts of the divine. Whatever it is your understanding is, you are looking outward into the cosmos for this great wise being to be of assistance to you. And what is this? This is a mirror. It is, let us just say, you are externalizing that which is intrinsic to your own beingness. For if you were to just simply turn directly to your own higher self, your own highest beingness, within your beingness, instead of externalizing, then you are, let us say, now we are cooking with fire. It is like saying the fire breath of a dragon, the eternal fire within your own beingness is far more potent than the external fire of some cosmic dragon somewhere. And so, dear ones, when you speak with the dragon, you're speaking to that your own inner dragonness, let us say, on some level. It is whether or not you are conscious of the internal reflection of that which you are externalizing. That is the question. So if you are speaking to Archangel Michael, is there an inner archangel that you are truly working with? Then is this the source, the true source of that wisdom? Now there is a question. Is the reason most can't see 4D because of the lunar matrix? Dear one, let us just say that many of you have these stories that you resonate with, of there being some great grand machine within your moon that is creating this phantom matrix and let us say putting a layer or a veil over your higher dimensional sight or something so that you can only see limited density and all of this. And if this is your truth, then it is true for you have decided that it is true. If you, let us say, hear a story and you resonate so much with the story that it becomes your reality construction, then for the time that you have agreed it is real, it is your reality construction. So you can also say that even if this moon once had these machines operating, that they have been liberated from the dark forces that did this in operation of enforcement of this. You could very easily just as well say there are forces of light that now have those machines and have taken over the moon, and that it is no longer being operated against your will to keep you in some prison matrix or something like that. You could just as easily say that that machine broke down a long time ago and failed, and that it is just now humans' habits of limitation and lack and density that are creating this phantom matrix. You are doing it. It is like you could very easily say that you are like the canary whose cage door has been wide open for a week, and yet the canary is so used to the cage that it does not fly away. Dear ones, you get to choose which story is true for you. So if you choose to live under this lunar matrix, dear one, then it is your reality until you make a new choice. It is that simple. Thank you, Jadon Se, for the clarification. I now understand an avatar is a more appropriate word for any form spirit takes, including human. Dear ones, yes, let us just think of it as your wardrobe. How I appear in this story is thus. What my costume is, what my attire, what the role is that I play. I am here acting upon this stage in this grand story, and is it truly me, or am I an actor with my own life beyond this? And if you see things from this standpoint, that this is just a role you are playing here, do you not become this, do you not transcend the feeling of identity that has been weighing down upon you in this world so often oppressively? Let us say some identities people take on to have a weight of their own or create dramas of their own, and this is why identity politics has become so toxic in so many ways. It can, let us say, take on its own gravity and weight that pushes down upon you and makes you even feel smaller and smaller as you think I am identifying as, even if you just identify as some sort of like being from a certain town. Do you not see how that limits your identity into just being this little being from this little town? And you are so much grander than you know, each of you, dear ones, including your avatars, your bodies, your costumes, your sense of identity. And at the same time, even a small, demure sense of identity can be very interesting for a role. So if you fall into this sense of being a leper or a drug addict or something like this, and or a bum laying in his own liquids in the gutter or something like this. It seems like such a small part to play. However, it may be a very important part for that particular story. So there is no shame or blame or problem with taking your role very seriously at times, dear ones. Feel into that. Thank you for correcting me and thank you for your energy. I felt it strongly. This is not a form of correction, dear ones. We are offering other types of perspectives. We are offering to take you up to a cloud and let you look down upon the landscape from there for a moment. There is nothing that is more or less true, more or less correct. It is simply a different viewpoint, dear ones. And we are happy that you have felt it. Beautiful, dear ones. It is 1215. We will keep going until you're 1222. So are there any more questions, thoughts, blessings, sharings for this blessings from the dragon for this Wednesday? This is your opportunity for the next few moments to access a cosmic golden dragon, have a conversation with yourself through a golden dragon, let us say. Dear ones, we hope that you are understanding there is a great theme throughout this gathering today, starting with blessing in disguise, going through with staying the course, and that your let us say challenges are almost over, and that it is you'll be able to walk without any fear or guilt or shame. Do you feel into this, dear ones? There is a theme throughout all of these lines of questioning that has been resonating here. You can use this energetic blessing with all of the thoughts that have been expressed in this chat. Read into it as a blessing in disguise. Even these thoughts of those who are suffering and all of this, dear ones. Feel this. Blessings to all who are starting to follow their hearts and want to create a better world. Indeed, dear one. When you send these blessings out into the external cosmos, into eternity, you are also blessing yourself internally. When you are having compassion for another being, you are having compassion for your own beingness. When you are, let us say, wishing the best or asking for the highest timeline for another, this is reflected to your own highest timeline. Do you see, dear ones? The cosmos is a great mirror. It is as above, so below. It is so true, this wisdom. Feel into that. Blessings to all here in attendance. Much gratitude to all. Indeed, dear ones. Gratitude is a portal that opens for both directions. Dear Jadon Se, a wordplay. Nothing is impossible because I'm possible. Dear one, this is beautiful. Thank you for sharing this. This is, let us say, the genius of the mirror at work there. Mirroring can be, you can use a funhouse mirror to make someone look skinnier or fatter, and you can do things with the mirror that are very fun with words as well. Beautiful. Your Stephen is about to sneeze. Hopefully that did not blow up the microphone. Very good. Dear ones, do you feel this? Do you feel that each of you is here for a reason? Do you feel that there is no coincidence in anything that happens unless you say that coincidence is simply just truth? Then everything is a coincidence. Let us just say there is a deeper current to everything. Look beneath the surface to the deeper currents, and many times the deeper currents are not as pronounced or obvious. They seem to be moving slower, but there is a great force to them, these deeper currents. I choose to see my angels and friends in the higher realms. What is the best way to see a fairy, for example? Dear ones, let us just say that the best way to see any being is to be open to that being, to invite that being into your consciousness, into your beingness, into your, you might say, experience or insperience. You can invite them into your dream realms. You can invite them into the forest nearby. You can invite them into your backyard or your living room or your bedroom or what have you. Dear ones, be careful about this, because fairies, let us just say, if you are not accustomed to actually being in the presence of fairies, it can be a little jarring. Or let us say the first opening that you crack open will be the hardest one. It is like when a door has not opened for a long time and it is kind of stuck and jammed, dusty and all of this. It might take a little extra oomph to open the door, and then once it opens, boom, it is open. And so it may take a little extra effort for you to open the invitation for, say, fairies or unicorns or something like this to come into your experience or insperience. And then once this is open, be open, dear ones, to how the fairies wish to reveal themselves. They may wish to reveal themselves physically, or they may wish to reveal themselves in your dreams at first. You may see something out of a glimpse out of the corner of your eye, so to speak. How can an eye have a corner? That is very strange saying of beings. But you can see out of your peripheral vision a little glimpse of something, and you turn and look and nothing is there, but you are almost certain that there was something there that was fairy-like. And dear ones, sometimes you can see what you at first think is simply a moth or an insect floating by, and you take a closer look and you see that they are wearing clothing or something. And dear ones, it can come in so many different ways. The openness is the first step, opening the door. And as we said earlier, when you open any portal, make sure that you are the guardian of that portal. Take this seriously. Open it only for the highest good in the eyes of the highest divine, or as appropriate for a certain understanding that you are trying to understand. Dear ones, let us just say that it is your responsibility to open portals wisely. And we will just give you a quick little story. It is 1222, and we will finish with this. Your Stephen has something called fairy spray. It was given to him by a being who is very multidimensional. And this spray, when you spray it, it makes this scent in the room. And your Stephen just was playing with it, thinking, well, if this fairy spray works and calls fairies, then let me do this. And he sprayed it in his room, and he went to bed. And, dear ones, he woke up in the middle of the night feeling that there was a large insect on the inside of his arm that had landed there, and it freaked him out. He was in a bedroom with the door closed, the windows closed, nothing was open, and it was too dark to fully see, but there was something with wings on his arm, and he blew it off of him out of instinct before he got bitten by some insect, and realized almost immediately that that was a fairy who had landed upon him. He turned on the light and looked everywhere, and there was no being in the room anywhere. This was his first experience, a physical fairy landing on his arm after he used something called fairy spray. This was the opening for him, this door opening, and he was not quite ready for the experience. And so when he blew the fairy, it just sort of phased out of existence and took its leave, and took that as sort of a rude way of saying, I don't want you here right now. And this was his first experience. It can be like this for any of you, dear ones. Thank you for gathering with us. Mm, mm. My day always starts as a coincidence. Very good, dear ones. Let us just close with that. And mm, is opening a door like opening my gifts like pineal third eye or through chakra? Well, we are closing this session. We will leave it at that. You can answer this question for yourself. Look at your questions, dear ones. Go back and read your own questions and look at them with fresh eyes. You can always learn something about yourself through your own questions. It is always an opportunity for you. Once again, I just happened to look down, catch the end, and exactly what I need to hear. Thanks for a lot for these, for this at this point, Colorado. Beautiful, dear ones. Let us give shout-outs now for those gathered. We are coming to a close here. We started to close at 1222, and so let us continue to close with a beautiful celebration of shout-outs. So tell us where in the world you are right now, dear ones. We love to do this. This is a beautiful way to end this gathering, to complete this gathering, let us say. Feel the connections, dear ones, as you tell us where in this world you are. There are 33 individuals currently. Let us hear these shout-outs. We are in Utah. Beautiful, dear ones. Utah. Magdeburg, Germany. Magdeburg. Wo ist Magdeburg, Deutschland? Ich weiß es nicht. Let us say the Devon, England, Devon, UK. We do not say Devonshire. This is interesting. It must be Devon proper or something like this. Groves, Texas. Long Island, New York. Thailand is in the house with us. We are connected with Massachusetts. We are connected with Tulsa, Oklahoma, Vancouver Island, Holland, dear ones, Pennsylvania, North America. We are connected with Norway, South Africa, dear ones. Do you feel these connections? Dear ones, these connected dragon keepers, each keeping a node on this dragon grid created by this gathering. Do you feel this? South Africa, in the house, dear ones. Please shout out where you are. We are completing this beautiful gathering, and we wish to know who is here. Beautiful, dear ones. Thank you for all for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again. There is the Golden Codes workshops are ongoing. You can tune in to the first one that already happened. There is a recording, and just go to jadonse.com for this. And our next one will be this coming Sunday. And dear ones, there is also, let us say, there are still Dragon Level 1 and 2 classes, energies classes going on, and there is an upcoming gathering on the New Earth 1 network, Lauren Gailey, towards the end of the month. So much happening, dear ones. Yes, the family is strong, dear ones. Thank you for being a part of it, and we look forward to seeing you again in your moment of now very soon.